Every day is a new chance to become the person you want to be. Growth doesn't happen all at once. It happens in the small things you do every single day. You don't need to be perfect to start improving. You just need to care enough to take one more step forward than you did yesterday. Real progress doesn't come from doing more. It comes from doing what matters with purpose and consistency. Getting better every day isn't about massive changes or overnight success. It's about choosing to be just a little stronger, a little wiser, and a little more disciplined than you were yesterday. It's about showing up for yourself, even when no one is watching. When you commit to getting better daily, the results will follow. You don't need more time, more luck, or more talent. You need a reason, a plan, and the courage to stick to it if you're ready to improve in ways that truly last. Then, let's dive in. Number 1, set daily goals that push you outside comfort zones. Most people wake up, check their phone, drag themselves through the day, and call it a life they survive on autopilot. You can feel it in your bones, that quiet dissatisfaction, that itch that something's missing. It's not that people don't want to grow. It's that they never learned how, or worse, they once tried, failed, and stopped believing it was possible. The truth. You don't get better by accident. You don't grow because time passes. You grow because you make yourself do hard things on purpose. You get better when you set goals that stretch you, daily goals that make you uncomfortable, that make you think, that demand more of you than yesterday. Comfort is the slow death of progress. You know it. I know it. We've all been stuck in that trap, doing what feels safe, repeating the same habits, avoiding the hard conversations, skipping the gym, playing it small at work, not speaking up, not showing up fully. Why? Because we want ease, but growth doesn't live in ease. Growth lives in the moments that make you nervous, uncertain, and maybe even afraid. The moment you decide that you're going to do one thing today that pushes you past your usual limit. That's the moment you start building a life you're proud of. If you're not setting daily goals that challenge you, then what are you really doing? Coasting, waiting, hoping things magically get better. That's not a plan. That's avoidance in disguise. Every day when you wake up, ask yourself one thing. What's something I can do today that'll make me better than I was yesterday? It doesn't have to be huge, but it does have to be intentional. It has to matter. It has to stretch you. Now, let's get real. When you first start pushing yourself, it's going to feel uncomfortable. You'll second-guess yourself. You'll feel resistance. That's normal. Your brain wants to keep you safe. It wants predictable, but predictable doesn't lead to greatness. Growth comes from showing up in ways that make you earn your own respect, and there's no shortcut to that. You have to build it day by day. Maybe your goal today is to finally have that honest talk with someone. Maybe it's to apply for a job you've been scared to go after. Maybe it's to run an extra mile, speak up in a meeting, eat clean, wake up earlier, or shut off your phone and read something that feeds your mind. It's not about the size of the goal. It's about the intention behind it. Are you choosing comfort, or are you choosing growth? And don't fall into the trap of trying to overhaul your entire life in one day. That's a setup for burnout. The key is consistency. Pick one meaningful goal per day. One thing that pushes you a little further than the day before. If you do that every single day, your confidence changes. Your mindset shifts. You begin to trust yourself more. Why? Because you're proving to yourself that you follow through, that you're serious about your own growth. People often say, "I'll start tomorrow." No, you won't. Tomorrow is just a fantasy we use to excuse today's comfort. Growth starts now, today, with a goal that's just hard enough to make you nervous, but not so hard that you'll quit. That's the sweet spot. You don't have to climb the whole mountain today, but you do have to take the first step, and then the next one, and then the next. That's how you build momentum. And here's the beauty of it: when you start hitting those daily goals, you change how you see yourself. You stop waiting for motivation because you realize it's not about motivation. It's about discipline. It's about identity. You start becoming the kind of person who does hard things that's powerful, because once you believe you're that kind of person, everything changes. You stop looking at problems as obstacles and you start seeing them as training. Every challenge becomes a chance to level up, but it starts with today. It starts with setting a goal that doesn't let you play small. You want to build a better life. You want more confidence. You want to stop feeling stuck. Then give yourself a reason to grow every single day. Push your limits in small ways that add up. One day, it's waking up earlier the next. It's putting your full focus into your work. Then, it's having the discipline to say no to distractions. You add those things up day after day, and before you know it, you've transformed. And I'll tell you this, you will feel resistance. You will feel fear. That's not weakness. That's your old self holding on. But here's the truth. Your comfort zone is lying to you. It's whispering, "Stay here, it's safe." When really, it's the reason you feel stuck. You've got to break that. And you break it by deciding that each day is a chance to earn something. Not just money or praise, but self-respect, self-worth, dignity. You don't need a life-changing moment. You need a habit of pushing yourself daily. Show me someone who does that, and I'll show you someone who's going places, because success isn't built in bursts. It's built in quiet mornings and focused hours and daily choices that nobody else sees. You won't get applause for it, but you'll feel it. You'll know you're living fully, not just existing. And if you're thinking, well, what if I fail? Good fail for get back up. That's part of growth. You can't get better if you're always trying to avoid failure. The goal isn't perfection. The goal is progress a little better today than you were yesterday. That's it. That's the game. And when you live that way, setting daily goals that push you past fear, past excuses, past comfort, you wake up years later and realize you've built something rare, a life you're proud of, a self you respect. Don't wait for permission. Don't wait for everything to feel right. Start today. One goal, one stretch, one step outside the line. You usually don't do that and keep doing it. And you'll look back one day and realize you didn't just get better. You became unstoppable. Number 2. Reflect on yesterday's mistakes and learn from them. Most people are carrying around the weight of yesterday, but they never look inside it. They make mistakes, feel bad for a moment, and then distract themselves until the feeling fades, but nothing really changes. They repeat the same habits, fall into the same patterns, and live in the same frustration. That's why most people don't grow, because they don't pause long enough to understand their own choices. They treat mistakes like shameful secrets, not like lessons. And if you don't learn from what you've done wrong, you're going to keep running in circles. Growth isn't about perfection, it's about reflection. It's about having the honesty to say, that didn't go well yesterday. What happened? What did I do? What can I do better today? Most people don't want to ask those questions because it's uncomfortable. But comfort doesn't fix anything. Avoiding the truth won't make you stronger. Looking it in the eye will. You can't change what you don't face. That's the rule. Think about yesterday. Really, think about it. Were you distracted? Did you waste time scrolling? Did you lose your temper? Did you say you'd do something and then break your own word? Were you lazy with your effort? Or were you not honest with someone? Or with yourself? These are not small things. These are the very moments that shape your future. Every decision you made yesterday carried a weight, and if you're not reviewing that, you're not in control of your life. You're reacting to it. Mistakes aren't proof that you're broken. They're proof that you're in motion. They mean you're in the game. But the value of a mistake only shows up when you learn from it. And learning doesn't happen by accident. It takes effort. It takes humility. You have to want to understand yourself. You have to ask the hard questions and be willing to face what the answers tell you. Not to beat yourself up, but to grow. Self-reflection isn't about shame. It's about wisdom. It's saying, I'm not perfect, but I can get better, and I owe it to myself to understand how. That's maturity. That's responsibility. That's how real personal power is built, not in pretending you've got it all figured out, but in being committed to figuring it out every day, one mistake at a time. If you really want to improve, then reflection needs to be a habit. Not something you do when life falls apart, but something you do every single day. Make it a routine at the end of the day, or even better. First thing in the morning, sit down and go over what happened the day before. Write it out, speak it out, don't rush it, don't skip it. Ask, what did I do? Well, what could I have done better? What triggered me? Where did I fall short? What will I do differently today? You'll be amazed how much power you gain when you get honest with yourself. It's not always easy. Sometimes the truth stings. You'll realize you've been making excuses. You'll catch yourself repeating old behaviors you promised to change. That's not failure. That's awareness. And awareness is the first step to growth. You can't improve what you won't admit. But when you start admitting it, everything changes. The people who grow the fastest aren't the smartest. They're the ones who reflect the most. They pay attention. They stay awake in their own life. They take mental notes, and then they apply those notes. They don't just say, I messed up. They say, here's what I'll do next time. That's the difference. That's the shift. Regret keeps you stuck. Reflection sets you free. Think about the strongest people you've ever met, the most disciplined, the most inspiring. You'll find they've all made massive mistakes, but they didn't hide from them. They learned, they adapted, they evolved, and they did it by turning reflection into a discipline, not a feeling, not a mood, a discipline, something they practiced every single day. And I'll tell you this, if you make a habit of reviewing your actions, you won't just grow. You'll start to predict your weak moments before they happen. You'll catch the pattern earlier. You'll recognize when you're about to repeat the same behavior, and you'll pause. That's when you know it's working. That's when you're truly gaining control. And that's when your life begins to change at a deeper level. Not just through action, but through insight. Don't run from your bad days. Study them. Don't ignore your failures, examine them. Don't beat yourself up. Train yourself. Every mistake is a message. But it's only useful if you open it. You've got to stop looking at reflection like punishment. It's not. It's practice. It's preparation. It's how you stop living reactively and start living intentionally. And you don't need an hour a day. You need 10 focused minutes. No distractions. No lies. Just you and your truth. Ask the questions. Be direct. Don't sugarcoat. Be kind. But be clear. Because clarity is power. When you know what's holding you back, you can do something about it. When you understand your own habits, you can rewrite them, but not if you're always too busy or too afraid to look in the mirror. Most people look forward too much and backward too little. They're so focused on what they want, they forget to ask why they haven't gotten it yet. And the answers are almost always found in their own behavior, not the economy, not their past, not their parents, their choices. But that takes maturity to admit. That takes ownership. And that's rare, but that's also where greatness begins. The people who live full, powerful lives aren't perfect. They're just fully engaged. They study themselves. They know their tendencies. They pay attention to their patterns. They reflect. They adjust. They grow. That's what separates them. Not talent, not luck, awareness. And the good news that something anyone can build if they care enough to try growth is available to everyone. But not everyone will choose it, because reflection takes effort. It takes time. It takes honesty. But it also gives you something no shortcut can ever offer. Real, lasting change. Change that starts from the inside out. Change that makes you feel proud, strong, and in control of your life. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be intentional. You need to be awake, and you need to care enough about your own future to learn from your past. That's how you break through. That's how you rise. That's how you get better every single day, by looking at yesterday with honesty, learning what it tried to teach you, and making today count more because of it. Number 3, practice one skill consistently to improve gradually each day. It's easy to feel overwhelmed when you think about everything you want to improve. Whether it's at work, in your relationships, or with your health, most people try to do too much at once, jumping from one thing to another, and then wonder why they never get better. Improvement doesn't happen through scattered effort. It happens through focused, steady work on one thing at a time. When you choose one skill and commit to practicing it consistently, you unlock a power that most people never tap into. Most people underestimate how much small improvements add up. They think they need big breakthroughs overnight, but real growth is quiet. It's almost invisible at first. When you work on one skill every day, even if it's just for a few minutes, your brain starts wiring itself differently. Your muscles get stronger. Your mind sharpens, your confidence builds, but it doesn't happen because you push harder. It happens because you show up again and again. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who give up. You don't need to master everything at once. You don't need to be an expert in 100 areas. You need to be better than you were yesterday. At one thing, that means making a decision to focus your energy. When you practice one skill consistently, your brain creates new pathways. Your hands remember what to do. Your eyes see more clearly. Your heart believes more deeply. This is how you turn effort into excellence. Think about learning a new skill like climbing stairs. You can't jump to the top in one step. You have to put one foot in front of the other again and again. Each step builds on the last one. The same happens when you commit to practicing daily. The improvement is slow but steady, and the moment you stop practicing, the progress fades. That's why consistency matters more than intensity. Better to do a little every day than to do a lot once and then quit. It's normal to feel impatient. You want results now. But those who have lasting success understand that patience is part of the process. You don't see the change immediately, but it's happening underneath the small wins you get each day. Create a foundation for bigger success tomorrow. The problem is most people stop before they see those results. They quit too soon because the progress feels too slow. Don't make that mistake. Find the skill that matters most to your growth and give it your attention. If you want to get stronger physically, pick a workout or exercise and do it daily. If you want to write better, write something every day, even if it's just a few sentences. If you want to get better at communication, practice listening carefully and speaking clearly in every conversation. It doesn't have to be complicated. It has to be consistent. The power of focusing on one skill is that it creates momentum every time you practice. You build confidence and skill. You start noticing improvements in your daily life. You begin to feel more competent and more motivated. That positive cycle keeps you going. The more you see progress, the more you want to continue. That's the fuel you need for long-term growth. Practice also teaches you about discipline. It shows you what it means to commit to something beyond the easy days. There will be days when you don't feel like it, days when distractions pull you away, days when it's tempting to quit, but practicing daily builds grit. It trains your mind to push through discomfort. It makes your goals more real. That's where success lives, not in talent, but in discipline. When you practice one skill every day, your focus sharpens. You stop spreading yourself thin and start mastering the art of deep work. This kind of focus changes how your brain works. It helps you get into the zone where time seems to slow down, and you're fully engaged. That's where progress accelerates. That's where you build expertise that lasts. Another important part is to be patient with yourself during this process. Improvement isn't always a straight line. Some days will feel harder than others. You might make mistakes or feel stuck. That's normal. But if you keep showing up, the improvement will come. Growth is rarely dramatic. It's a series of small wins stacked day after day. Tracking your practice can help you stay motivated when you see how many days you've committed to working on your skill. It creates a sense of accomplishment. It reminds you of your dedication and keeps you accountable. Whether it's a journal, an app, or just a calendar, keeping a record makes your progress visible. Consistency also helps you avoid overwhelm. When you focus on one skill at a time, you simplify your approach. You remove the chaos that comes from trying to do everything. This clarity allows your mind to focus deeply. It also reduces stress because you're not chasing endless goals. You're building a foundation, solid and steady. It's also important to approach practice with a beginner's mindset. No matter how good you think you are, there's always room to improve. Be open to learning, to making mistakes, and to trying new methods. Curiosity keeps the process fresh and prevents burnout. When you view practice as an opportunity to explore, you'll stay engaged longer. This approach is what separates successful people from those who struggle. The ones who excel have mastered the art of small daily improvements. They're not waiting for motivation or the perfect moment. They're committed to the grind. They understand that every minute invested in practice compounds over time. It's easy to get distracted by the idea of overnight success, but the reality is that skills are built slowly and carefully. Anyone can practice for a day or two, but it takes true commitment to do it every day for weeks, months, and years. That's how true mastery is formed, not by chance, but by choice. By focusing on one skill, you also learn about yourself. You discover what methods work best for you. You learn how you respond to challenges. You build patience and resilience. These lessons transfer to other areas of your life and make you stronger overall. And here's the truth. Your life will never improve until you improve yourself. But improvement isn't a grand event. It's a daily habit. It's a simple choice to do better, to try again, and to push a little harder than yesterday. The only way forward is through steady practice. Remember, it's not about how fast you get there. It's about showing up every day, doing the work, and trusting the process. When you commit to practicing one skill consistently, you're not just improving that skill. You're building a better version of yourself, patient, disciplined, focused, and ready for whatever comes next. This steady progress transforms your confidence. It changes how you see challenges. It rewires your brain to believe that growth is possible. And once you start believing it, your whole world shifts. Start small, choose one skill, and make a promise to yourself. Practice it every day. No excuses, no skipping, no giving up, just steady, focused work. That's how you get better. That's how you grow. That's how you change your life one day at a time. Number 4, seek feedback to understand where you can improve. Most people don't ask for feedback. They don't want to hear what they're doing wrong. It feels uncomfortable. It feels risky. Nobody likes being told they're not perfect. But here's the truth: without feedback, you're blind to your own limitations. You're missing an opportunity to grow. When you refuse feedback, you're choosing to stay stuck even if you don't realize it. Growth doesn't happen in isolation. It happens when you open yourself to what others see and learn from it. Nobody is perfect, and nobody knows everything about themselves. You have blind spots, things you don't see or understand about your behavior, skills, or habits. Those blind spots hold you back. They keep you repeating the same mistakes. Feedback acts like a mirror. It shows you what you can't see on your own. But for that mirror to work, you have to want to look into it. No matter how uncomfortable the reflection may be. Most people avoid feedback because it feels like criticism. They take it personally, they think it means they're failing or not good enough. But that's a misunderstanding. Feedback is not an attack. It's information. It's data you can use to improve. Think about a coach telling an athlete how to run faster, or a teacher explaining where a student can improve. They're not trying to hurt anyone. They're offering guidance. You have to see feedback the same way, as a gift. Not a threat. Asking for feedback takes courage. It requires humility to admit that you don't have all the answers. It takes strength to face the truth instead of hiding from it. But this courage is the foundation for growth. It's the difference between people who remain the same year after year and those who get better every day. The ones who get better are not the smartest or the luckiest. They're the ones willing to hear the truth and do something about it. You don't have to wait for someone to give you feedback. You can seek it out. Approach people you respect and trust, whether it's a boss, a colleague, a friend, or a mentor. Ask them to be honest about where you can improve. Be clear that you want to grow, and you welcome their honesty. That kind of openness builds trust and invites useful insights when you make feedback. Part of your daily routine, it becomes less scary and more valuable. Don't expect feedback to come in a neat package. Sometimes it will be hard to hear. Sometimes it will be vague or confusing. Sometimes it won't feel fair. But even then, there is value. The key is to listen without judgment. Don't argue or defend yourself immediately. Listen with an open mind. Take notes. Reflect on what's said. Then decide what you can use to get better feedback. Also helps you avoid blind spots that can damage your relationships and career. Sometimes you don't realize how your tone sounds or how your actions affect others without feedback. You might never know. This can create misunderstandings, resentment, and missed opportunities. When you welcome feedback, you gain insight into how you're perceived. You get a chance to adjust and improve your communication, your attitude, and your behavior. It's important to separate feedback from your identity. Feedback is about what you do not, who you are. It's about your actions, your habits, your results. It's not a judgment on your worth as a person. If you hear something difficult, remind yourself that it's a tool for growth, not a personal attack. This mindset shift is powerful. It frees you to hear feedback without fear and respond with action. Another thing to remember is that feedback is a two-way street. When you seek feedback, be ready to thank the person who gives it. Even if it's uncomfortable, their honesty is helping you, showing appreciation, encourages others to continue sharing. It creates a culture of openness where everyone can improve together, and when you give feedback to others, do it with kindness and clarity. Help others grow as you grow yourself. You can also use feedback to set better goals when you know where you need to improve. You can focus your efforts. You stop guessing and start targeting. Your growth becomes intentional and strategic. This saves time and energy. Instead of spinning your wheels, you move in the right direction. That's how progress accelerates. Sometimes the hardest feedback comes from inside when you reflect honestly on your own mistakes. That's self-feedback. But outside feedback is crucial because it shows things your mind may block. Other people see patterns you miss. They notice behaviors you don't realize. You have to trust that input. You don't have to accept everything, but you must listen. This doesn't mean you should depend on others to tell you how to grow. It means you should be open to learning from every source. People who don't seek feedback risk living in a bubble. They risk making the same errors repeatedly. They risk losing touch with reality. That's why the most successful people are always asking questions, always listening, always improving. Feedback helps you move beyond your comfort zone. It pushes you to try new things, to stretch your limits, to face challenges head-on. Without feedback, you stay in familiar territory. Repeating the same routine, growth requires change. Change requires feedback. You need to know what to change and how to change it. That knowledge comes from others. Remember, you don't have to wait for formal reviews or big moments. You can ask for feedback every day, after a meeting, after a project, after a conversation. Ask what you did well and what could be better. This keeps your growth fresh and continuous. It creates a habit of learning and adjustment. That habit leads to excellence when you embrace feedback. You also build resilience. You learn to handle criticism without shrinking. You learn to separate feelings from facts. You become stronger mentally and emotionally. That strength makes you unstoppable. No setback can stop you because you see each challenge as an opportunity to learn and improve. Feedback sharpens your self-awareness. It makes you conscious of your impact on others and your environment. That awareness is the foundation for better decisions. It helps you build stronger relationships. It helps you communicate more clearly. It helps you become a leader in your own life. Don't be afraid of feedback. Instead, welcome it, like a trusted guide showing you the path forward. The road to improvement is full of bumps, but feedback smooths the way. It gives you direction when you feel lost. It gives you hope when you feel stuck. It lights the way to becoming a better version of yourself every day. The choice is yours. You can keep guessing and struggling alone, or you can open your ears and heart to honest feedback. Growth happens in that space of openness. That's where transformation begins. That's where you find the power to change, to improve, and to live a life that feels truly worth living. Number 5. Read or watch something educational every single day. It's easy to feel stuck in a routine like your brain is just on autopilot. Churning out the same thoughts day after day, most people drift through life without feeding their minds anything fresh, anything that challenges or stretches them. But here's a reality. Check if your mind isn't growing, you're shrinking. The truth is your success and happiness are tied to what you learn every day. If you don't actively put new ideas and knowledge into your brain, it's like trying to grow a tree without water. No matter how good the soil is without nourishment, there's no growth when you commit to reading or watching something educational daily. You build a habit that changes everything. This doesn't mean you have to spend hours buried in books or lectures. Even 10 or 15 minutes a day can transform your thinking and your life. That small investment compounds over time. Day by day, your mind gets stronger, sharper, and more capable of solving problems. It helps you see the world with new eyes and opens doors you never imagined. Education isn't just about facts or figures. It's about new perspectives, new ways of thinking, and new tools you can use to improve yourself and your situation. When you learn something new, your brain forms connections that didn't exist before. This rewiring helps you think more clearly, make better decisions, and handle challenges more effectively. It gives you an edge that most people ignore because they don't realize how important daily learning is. Most people wait for formal education or training sessions to grow. They think they have to go back to school or sign up for a seminar. But real growth comes from consistent, everyday learning. It's about taking responsibility for your own development. It's about feeding your mind daily, just like you feed your body skipping. This is like starving your potential. The problem is, many people find it hard to stick to reading or watching educational content. Life gets busy, distractions pull you away. It's tempting to scroll endlessly through social media or watch entertainment that doesn't challenge you at all. But that choice creates a gap between where you are and where you want to be. To close that gap, you have to be intentional about what you consume mentally. One powerful way to build this habit is to choose material that actually excites you. When you're interested, learning doesn't feel like a chore. It feels like an adventure. Whether it's a book about a subject, you want to master a podcast that inspires you, or a video that teaches a new skill pick, something that lights a spark. That spark keeps you coming back day after day. It's also important to be selective. Not everything educational content is created equal. Avoid stuff that just repeats the same ideas or fills space with fluff. Look for content that challenges you, that makes you think, that offers practical advice. You can use immediately. High-quality learning accelerates your growth faster than random information. Don't underestimate the power of variety. Reading a book, watching a documentary, listening to an interview, or even following a series of lessons online, all count. Mixing formats keeps your mind engaged and helps you absorb knowledge in different ways. It also makes learning more enjoyable and sustainable over the long run. Another key point is to make learning part of your daily schedule. Treat it like a non-negotiable appointment with yourself. Find a consistent time that works, whether it's early morning before the day starts, during a lunch break, or before bed. When you protect that time, learning becomes a habit that sticks. As you grow this habit, you'll notice something powerful happening. Your mindset changes. You start seeing challenges not as obstacles, but as opportunities to learn and improve. You become more confident because you're better prepared. You start connecting ideas in ways others don't. This mental shift gives you the strength to push forward when things get tough. Sometimes people say they don't have time to read or watch educational content, but the truth is, everyone has the same 24 hours. It's about how you choose to spend those hours. When you make daily learning a priority, you start to cut out distractions and focus on what matters. It's a discipline that pays off in every area of your life. Reading or watching something educational every day also builds your self-discipline. It trains your mind to focus and resist the easy distractions that pull you off course. This discipline strengthens your ability to stick with other important habits too. Like exercise, goal setting, or practicing a skill, it's a foundation for success. Don't wait for motivation to start learning daily. Motivation comes and goes. Habits are what keep you going when motivation fades. The more you practice feeding your mind, the easier it gets. Soon, you'll crave that moment of learning, because it fuels your growth and fuels your spirit as your knowledge grows. You'll also gain more confidence in conversations at work and in your decision-making. You'll find yourself contributing more because you have something valuable to offer. People will notice the change in you, how you think, how you speak, how you approach problems. This builds respect and opens doors. This habit also protects you from feeling stuck or overwhelmed. Life can be unpredictable, but when you keep learning, you adapt more easily, you develop problem-solving skills that help you navigate changes instead of being overwhelmed by them. Learning gives you control in a world that often feels out of control. The key is to be consistent. Not perfect. Some days, you'll read a whole chapter. Other days, you'll watch a short video or listen to a quick podcast episode. It's the daily commitment that matters most over time. This daily learning turns into wisdom, and wisdom changes lives. If you want to get better every single day, start by feeding your mind something new. Every day, choose something that challenges you, teaches you, and moves you forward. Guard this time, fiercely protect it from distractions, and don't rush. The process. Growth is a journey, not a race. There's no shortcut to success, but daily learning is the closest thing you have to a reliable path. It builds momentum, it builds confidence, it builds the foundation for a life you can be proud of. This simple habit can change everything. If you let it, your mind is your most valuable asset. Treat it that way. Give it daily nourishment through learning. Watch it transform how you see yourself, how you handle life, and how far you can go. Every single day is a chance to become smarter, stronger, and more prepared for the challenges ahead. Take that chance seriously. Your future depends on it. Number 6. Surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you. Most people settle into social circles that keep them comfortable but don't push them to grow. It's easy to be around people who agree with everything you say, who don't challenge your thinking or your habits. That's safe. It feels good, but safety doesn't create progress. Comfort zones are where dreams go to die. If you want to get better every single day, you have to change the company. You keep the people around you have a huge influence on your mindset, your motivation, and your habits. They shape how you see what's possible for your life. If you hang out mostly with people who complain, who settle for less, who avoid challenges, you'll start to think the same way. Your ambitions shrink, your energy drops, and your confidence fades. On the other hand, when you surround yourself with people who inspire you, who have high standards for themselves, who work hard to improve, you absorb that mindset too. Their energy rubs off, their attitudes influence your own. You begin to see higher goals, bigger possibilities, and better ways to do things. This isn't about being around perfect people or pretending to be someone you're not. It's about choosing to spend time with those who lift you up and push you forward, not drag you down. People who ask hard questions, who challenge you to do better, who don't let you settle for excuses. Those relationships might feel uncomfortable sometimes because real growth isn't always comfortable. But discomfort is part of change. It's a reality that some people in your life might resist your growth. They might feel threatened or jealous when you start aiming higher or taking new steps. They might tell you it's too hard or you're dreaming too big. That's a warning sign that you need to create distance and find new connections. Growth requires a healthy environment. If your current relationships are holding you back, no amount of motivation can replace the need for better company. Look closely at the people you spend the most time with. What do they talk about? How do they react to challenges? What are their habits? Are they building something meaningful or stuck in complaints and distractions? Your future depends on the answers. If you want to become better, you need allies who share that desire, who push you to be honest with yourself, and who hold you accountable. Accountability is one of the biggest benefits of surrounding yourself with the right people. When you have friends, mentors, or colleagues who expect you to follow through on your goals, you're more likely to take action. It's harder to quit or slack off when someone else is watching and cares about your progress. That kind of support turns vague wishes into real. Achievement's inspiration comes from seeing others live what you want to live. When you watch someone handle difficulties with courage, when you see a friend or mentor succeed through persistence, you learn that it's possible for you too. It fuels your belief and pushes you to keep going when things get tough. You start to model their habits and attitudes, adapting what works into your own life. Building these kinds of relationships means being intentional. It means seeking out communities, groups, or individuals who align with your values and goals. It might mean joining clubs, attending seminars, or participating in online forums where growth-minded people gather. It might mean reaching out to mentors or coaches who can guide you. The important thing is not to wait for these connections to fall into your lap, but to go after them with purpose. At the same time, you have to be the kind of person others want to be. Around growth is contagious in both directions. If you want inspiring, challenging people in your life, you must offer the same show up with honesty, commitment, and encouragement. Be willing to challenge others and accept challenge yourself. This creates a cycle of mutual growth that benefits everyone involved. There will be times when you have to make tough decisions about your relationships. Letting go of people who keep you stuck is hard, but necessary. Holding on to toxic or negative connections only drains your energy and limits your potential. It's not selfish to protect your growth, it's essential. Real friends want the best for you and will support your journey. Even if it means some changes, surrounding yourself with inspiring and challenging people also sharpens your self-awareness. These relationships reflect your strengths and weaknesses back to you. In honest ways, they help you see where you need to improve and celebrate where you're doing well. That clarity speeds up your progress because you're not guessing or hiding from reality. Sometimes inspiration comes from unexpected places. People who seem different from you might offer perspectives and wisdom that open your mind. Don't limit yourself to one type of person. Diversity in your social circle broadens your thinking and prepares you for a variety of situations. It helps you grow not just in one area, but in many dimensions of life. Remember, you don't have to have a huge circle to benefit. A few meaningful relationships that inspire and challenge you are more valuable than dozens of casual acquaintances. Focus on quality over quantity, invest time and energy into those connections. Nurture them like a garden, because they will yield the growth you seek. You can also create your own environment of growth by setting the tone in your interactions. Encourage others to aim higher, to think bigger, to keep learning. When you become a source of inspiration, you attract similar energy back. This creates a positive feedback loop where everyone benefits and grows. Every day offers opportunities to connect with people who can help you improve. It might be a quick conversation with a coworker who has a different perspective. It might be a deep discussion with a friend who challenges your assumptions. It might be listening carefully to a mentor's advice. Being open and present in these moments builds relationships that fuel your growth. Surrounding yourself with inspiring and challenging people creates a ripple effect. You become part of a community that values progress, effort, and resilience. That community supports you through setbacks and celebrates your victories. It reminds you that you're not alone in your journey, and that growth is a shared experience. If you want to get better every single day, start by examining who you spend your time with. Make deliberate choices to build relationships that raise you up. Step out of your comfort zone to meet new people who challenge your thinking. Be honest about the company that holds you back and have the courage to change it. Growth is not a solo journey. It thrives in connection with others who believe in your potential and hold you accountable. When you surround yourself with people who inspire and challenge you, you create a powerful environment that makes daily improvement inevitable. This environment pushes you beyond your limits and unlocks the person you're meant to become. Number 7, prioritize health with proper sleep, nutrition, and exercise. It's easy to overlook something as basic as health when chasing success or trying to improve every day. Most people know they should eat better, move more, and sleep enough, but very few treat these things as the foundation of their growth. The truth is, without prioritizing your health, every other effort you make becomes harder. Your mind won't be sharp, your energy won't be reliable, and your motivation will fade quickly. Health isn't just about avoiding illness, it's about fueling your body and mind to perform at their best every day. The first and most neglected piece is sleep. Many people run themselves ragged, thinking they can push through fatigue, but this is a false economy. Sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. When you sleep well, your brain clears out the fog. Your body repairs itself and your emotions settle. Without enough quality sleep, focus becomes impossible. Stress piles up and decision-making suffers. Imagine trying to build a house on a cracked foundation. It won't hold. Your mind and body need rest to support growth. Even 1 or 2 nights of poor sleep can throw off your entire rhythm. To improve sleep, it's not about just lying down longer, it's about creating an environment that supports deep, uninterrupted rest. That means setting a consistent bedtime, turning off screens well before sleeping, and making your bedroom a calm, dark place. If your mind races with worries or tasks, write them down before bed, so they're out of your head. Small changes like these can radically improve how you feel the next day. Don't underestimate the power of waking up refreshed. Everything you do after that moment depends on it. Nutrition is the second pillar. Your body is a machine, and what you feed it determines how well it runs. Many people grab quick processed foods because they're easy or cheap. But this is like putting low-grade fuel into a high-performance engine. Proper nutrition means giving your body balanced meals with enough protein, healthy fats, vitamins, and minerals. It doesn't have to be complicated or expensive, but it does require attention. Skipping meals or relying on sugar and caffeine creates energy spikes and crashes, leaving you tired and unfocused. Eating well also affects your mood and mental clarity. Nutrient deficiencies can cause irritability, anxiety, or brain fog, enemies of daily improvement. When you eat foods that nourish you, your body can fight off sickness better. Your skin glows and your stamina increases. Think of food as your daily investment in how well you show up for life. Planning meals or prepping snacks ahead can prevent grabbing junk in moments of hunger. Over time, making better food choices becomes a habit that naturally supports your goals. Exercise is the third critical factor. It's common to think exercise is only for losing weight or looking good, but its benefits run much deeper. Movement pumps oxygen through your body, strengthens your heart, and releases chemicals that improve mood and reduce stress. Exercise wakes up your brain and builds resilience even on busy days. A short walk or a few stretches can break the cycle of fatigue and mental fog. The more sedentary your life is, the harder it is to stay sharp and motivated. Consistent exercise doesn't require a gym membership or hours of effort. It starts with small, manageable actions, taking the stairs, walking during breaks, or doing bodyweight exercises at home. Over time, these build endurance, strength, and confidence. When your body feels capable, your mind follows. You start to approach challenges with more energy and less hesitation. Exercise becomes a signal to yourself that you are committed to growth in every part of your life. There's a direct connection between these 3 elements: sleep, nutrition, and exercise that works like a feedback loop. Poor sleep leads to bad food choices, which leads to low energy and less exercise, which then makes sleep worse. Breaking this cycle requires conscious effort. You can't improve one area fully without affecting the others. When you start treating your health as a priority, you'll notice your motivation improves naturally. Your mind clears and your productivity rises. Ignoring your health is one of the biggest mistakes people make when trying to get better every day. They push hard, but their body protests with aches, exhaustion, and illness. This slows progress and creates frustration. The harsh reality is that without a strong foundation of health, the best plans, the biggest goals, and the hardest work won't lead to lasting success. Taking care of your body is the most practical and powerful investment you can make in your personal growth. It's also important to listen to your body. Everyone is different, and what works for one person might not work for another. Some need more sleep. Some respond better to certain foods or types of exercise. Pay attention to how you feel. After eating, moving, or resting, your body communicates what it needs, but only if you are willing to listen. Developing this awareness gives you control over your well-being and keeps you from slipping into harmful habits. Stress management plays into health as well. Chronic stress damages your immune system, disrupts sleep, and encourages unhealthy eating and inactivity. Finding ways to manage stress through deep breathing mindfulness or hobbies can protect your health. The goal isn't to eliminate stress entirely, that's impossible, but to handle it better, so it doesn't drain your energy or cloud your mind. Prioritizing health means scheduling it into your day, just like meetings or appointments. You have to block time for rest, prepare nutritious meals, and move your body. Treat these as non-negotiable commitments. When health is on the calendar, it becomes part of your daily routine, not something you hope to get to. If time allows, this consistent attention compounds over days, weeks, and months, creating momentum that supports all your other efforts. Remember that investing in health also protects your future. Every positive choice today builds reserves for tomorrow. A healthy body and mind reduce the risk of chronic diseases and keep you active and engaged in the long run. This is the groundwork that allows you to pursue bigger dreams and take on new challenges without burning out in this journey. Don't aim for perfection. It's not about never having a bad meal or skipping a workout. Progress is about making better choices more often than not and recognizing when you're off track so you can get back on the commitment to prioritize your health every day. Sends a clear message to yourself that you respect your potential and are ready to invest in your future. Taking care of your health creates a ripple effect that enhances every part of your life. Energy levels rise, mental clarity sharpens, emotional balance strengthens, and resilience builds. These benefits feed into your ability to learn to push boundaries and to stay consistent. The body is the vessel through which all your goals are achieved, so treating it with care isn't optional, it's essential. It might feel like health is the easiest thing to ignore when life gets busy, but it's actually the first thing that suffers when neglected. If you want to improve every single day, this must change. Commit to getting enough sleep, eating, nourishing food, and moving your body regularly. These actions set the stage for every success to come. They make improvement not just possible but sustainable. Number 8, track your progress and celebrate even small achievements. It's a tough reality that many people start with enthusiasm but lose momentum because they don't recognize how far they've come. Improvement isn't always obvious day to day, and when progress feels invisible, it's easy to get discouraged and give up. That's why tracking your progress is one of the most powerful tools for getting better every single day without some way to measure your growth. Your efforts can feel like throwing punches in the dark when you see tangible proof that you're moving forward. No matter how small, it fuels your motivation and builds confidence. Most people think progress means big leaps or dramatic results, but that's not how growth works. Real improvement is gradual and often happens in tiny steps. Maybe you spent an extra 5 minutes practicing a skill, or you woke up 15 minutes earlier to work on a goal. These small wins add up, but if you don't notice or acknowledge them, it's easy to feel stuck or think you're failing. Keeping a record, whether it's a journal, an app, or a simple checklist, creates a clear picture of your journey. It reminds you that every effort counts and that success is built one brick at a time. Tracking progress does more than just show where you are now. It reveals patterns in your behavior and habits. You begin to understand what's helping you improve and what's holding you back. For instance, you might see that your best days come after a good night's sleep, or when you stick to a certain routine. Recognizing these connections helps you make better choices and plan your days in ways that support growth without tracking. You're guessing what works. Which wastes time and energy. Celebrating small achievements isn't about arrogance or resting on your laurels. It's about reinforcing positive habits when you acknowledge a small success. Your brain releases chemicals that create feelings of pleasure and satisfaction. This natural reward encourages you to repeat the behavior over time. These celebrations become a powerful cycle that supports ongoing improvement, ignoring progress or dismissing small wins. Steals this natural motivation and makes the journey feel harder than it needs to be. Celebrations don't have to be big or extravagant. It could be as simple as pausing to appreciate your effort, sharing a win with a friend, or treating yourself to something enjoyable. The key is to make progress meaningful in your mind. Recognizing growth even in the smallest ways builds a positive mindset that strengthens your belief in yourself. This belief is essential because every day will have challenges, and confidence in your ability to improve will keep you moving forward. Many people hesitate to track progress because they fear the truth about their pace or setbacks, but avoiding reality only delays growth. Honest tracking means acknowledging failures or slow days, but it also means celebrating when you do well. It's a balanced view that prevents discouragement and builds resilience when setbacks happen. Looking back at your progress reminds you that you are capable and have overcome obstacles before this perspective turns failures into lessons rather than reasons to quit. The method of tracking matters less than consistency. Some write detailed journal entries while others prefer quick notes or visual charts. Find a system that fits your style and stick with it daily. Make it a habit like brushing your teeth or eating breakfast. The act of checking in with yourself each day connects you to your goals in a real way. It stops you from drifting through your efforts blindly and helps you adjust as needed. Tracking also allows you to set better goals when you know where you started and how much you've improved. You can set realistic next steps. It keeps your goals challenging but achievable. This balance is critical because goals that are too easy don't push growth, and goals that are too hard cause frustration. Progress tracking gives you the data to strike the right balance and move forward confidently. In addition, sharing your progress with others can deepen your commitment. When you tell someone about your small wins, you create accountability. It's harder to give up when others know you're working towards something positive. Feedback from others also strengthens your motivation. Finding a community or partner who supports your growth can make tracking more enjoyable and meaningful. The importance of celebrating small wins goes beyond motivation. It changes your relationship with growth itself. Instead of chasing a distant, uncertain goal, you focus on what you've already achieved. This mindset shift creates joy and fulfillment in the process, not just the outcome. It makes improvement sustainable because you find satisfaction in the journey, not just the destination. It's also worth remembering that progress is not always linear. Some days or weeks you might move forward and others might feel like 2 steps back. Without tracking and celebrating these fluctuations can feel like failure, but with a clear record you can see the overall trend upward and maintain hope and persistence. This long-term view is essential for real change. Tracking progress teaches patience and discipline. Improvement takes time, and it's easy to want quick results, but by measuring your efforts consistently, you build the habit of showing up every day even when results aren't immediate. This daily commitment compounds and eventually leads to breakthrough moments that feel like sudden leaps, but are really the result of steady work. If you want to get better every single day, the challenge is to be mindful of your growth and honor it. Don't let your achievements slip by unnoticed. Make it a point to record your efforts and celebrate them in ways that matter to you. This simple practice creates momentum, strengthens your resolve, and turns improvement into a rewarding, lifelong habit. When you take the time to track and celebrate, you are not only measuring success, you are creating. Number 9, replace negative self-talk with encouraging and positive affirmations. It's one of the toughest battles anyone faces. the voice inside your head that criticizes you, doubts you, and drags you down. That internal chatter has more power over your life than most people realize. Many get stuck because they listen to that negative self-talk, like it's truth. The problem is, it's rarely honest or helpful. Instead, it's a constant stream of discouragement that clouds your vision and steals your confidence. The harsh reality is if you don't control that voice, it controls you. That's why replacing negative self-talk with positive, encouraging affirmations is not just helpful. It's essential for getting better every day. People often underestimate how much their thoughts shape their feelings and actions. When you tell yourself, "I'm not good enough," or "I always fail," your body reacts with stress, fear, and hesitation. This reaction narrows your focus, making it harder to see opportunities or take risks. It's like putting on a blindfold in the middle of a busy road. You can't move safely or clearly. Negative thoughts trigger a cycle where you doubt yourself. Avoid challenges and ultimately limit your growth to break this cycle. You must challenge those harmful messages and replace them with words that build you up instead of tearing you down. Changing your self-talk starts with awareness. Most of these negative messages run on autopilot, so the first step is noticing them. Pay attention to your inner dialogue throughout the day. What are the exact words you use when you face a problem or make a mistake? Are you kind to yourself, or do you jump straight to criticism? This awareness can be uncomfortable, but it's necessary. It's like cleaning a dirty window before you can see the view clearly. Only when you see the negativity can you begin to change it. Once you catch these thoughts, the next step is to actively replace them with positive affirmations. Simple, clear statements that remind you of your worth, strength, and ability to improve. For example, instead of saying, "I can't do this," say, "I'm learning and getting better every day," instead of, "I'm a failure." Say, "Every mistake teaches me something important." These affirmations might feel strange or forced at first because they go against what your brain has been telling you. That's normal. Your brain is wired to stick to familiar patterns even if they're negative. But if you keep repeating positive statements, they begin to sink in and reshape your mindset. Positive affirmations work because they influence your brain's chemistry and your emotional state. When you say encouraging things to yourself, you activate parts of your brain linked to motivation and confidence. This shift helps you face challenges with more courage and resilience over time. These affirmations become part of your automatic thoughts, reducing self-doubt and increasing your belief in your ability to succeed. To get the best results, make affirmations specific, and realistic vague statements like, "I'm great," can feel disconnected if you don't believe them. But something like, "I'm improving step by step," or "I'm capable of handling this challenge," is more believable and actionable. Tailor your affirmations to your situation and goals. Write them down, say them out loud, or repeat them silently during moments of stress. The key is consistency. The more often you practice, the stronger their impact becomes. It's important to understand that positive affirmations don't mean ignoring problems or pretending everything is perfect. They aren't about lying to yourself or creating false hope. Instead, they are about choosing to focus on your potential rather than your limitations. This mental choice shifts your attitude from fear and doubt toward possibility and effort. It helps you approach setbacks as temporary and manageable instead of permanent roadblocks. Many people resist positive affirmations because it feels uncomfortable to contradict their negative thoughts. The inner critic can be relentless, shouting louder than the new voice you're trying to build. But persistence is what breaks the old pattern. Imagine trying to push a heavy boulder uphill. It's tough at first, but every push moves it a little. Repeating positive affirmations is that a push. Gradually, your mind gets used to hearing a kinder, more hopeful message, and the critical voice loses its power. Pairing positive affirmations with action increases their effectiveness. Words alone don't change anything unless they are backed by effort. When you say, "I am capable," follow it with steps that prove that statement true. Take on a small challenge, practice a skill, or learn something new. Every positive action reinforces the affirmations and creates real progress. This combination of mindset and behavior forms a strong foundation for daily improvement. Surrounding yourself with supportive reminders can also help post affirmations, where you see them often on a mirror, your desk, or your phone wallpaper. Hearing encouraging words from others, whether friends, mentors, or even books and videos, adds to your internal support system. These external voices help drown out negativity and keep your focus on growth. It's also helpful to replace comparisons with self-acceptance. Negative self-talk often starts when you measure yourself against others and come up short. Instead of saying, "I'm not as good as them," affirm, "I'm unique and improving in my own way." Recognizing your own progress without comparing it to someone else frees you from unnecessary pressure and lets you celebrate your journey. Sometimes the negative voice is rooted in past failures or critical environments, and changing it requires patience and sometimes outside help. Talking to a coach, counselor, or trusted friend can provide perspective and tools to challenge deep-seated beliefs. Don't hesitate to seek support if the negative thoughts feel overwhelming. Replacing negative self-talk with positive affirmations is a daily commitment. It's not a one-time fix, but a continuous practice that reshapes how you see yourself and your potential with time. This new way of thinking builds resilience, fuels motivation, and opens doors to opportunities that once seemed impossible. It changes your inner world, which inevitably transforms your outer world. Your words have power, not just to communicate with others, but to shape your own reality. Choosing to speak kindly to yourself every day creates a foundation for lasting growth when the mind is positive and encouraging your actions. Follow naturally, and getting better every single day becomes not just a goal, but a way of life. Number 10. Take consistent action, focused on your personal growth. Too often people believe that thinking about change, planning, or wishing will bring improvement. The harsh truth is without consistent action, nothing changes. You can read every book, watch every video, and write down every goal. But if you don't put your plans into motion, you're stuck right where you started. Life doesn't reward good intentions. It rewards effort. That effort needs to be steady and purposeful, aimed at growing who you are and what you can do every single day. Taking action means more than just doing something. It means doing the right things over and over. It requires showing up, even when motivation is low and circumstances are tough. This is where many people stumble. The path to getting better is not a sprint, but a marathon, and it demands discipline. The uncomfortable fact is that real growth feels hard because it pushes you beyond what's familiar. It means facing fears, making mistakes, and getting up again without excuses. The sooner this truth is accepted, the faster progress will come. Every day presents a choice to move forward or to stay put. Those who improve consistently understand that action fuels progress. It's about building habits that support your goals rather than waiting for perfect moments or perfect feelings. Waiting for motivation is waiting for something unreliable. Instead, the commitment to act, regardless of how you feel, creates momentum. Imagine starting a car. Sometimes it sputters and hesitates, but once it's running, it carries you forward, your actions. Start the engine of growth. Action requires clarity and focus. It's easy to get distracted by too many options or overwhelming to-do lists. The key is to break down your personal growth into manageable steps that align with what matters most. Identify the activities that have the biggest impact on your improvement and prioritize them daily. This sharp focus prevents burnout and frustration. Progress is not about doing everything. It's about doing what matters consistently and intentionally. Consistency in action also builds confidence. Every small step forward proves to yourself that you are capable. This builds a feedback loop where progress breeds motivation, which in turn fuels more action. This is how habits form, by repeating actions until they become automatic parts of your routine. The person you want to become is built day by day through these deliberate choices. Missing one day doesn't ruin everything, but giving up altogether does. Sometimes fear of failure or imperfection holds people back from taking action. It's important to realize that waiting for the perfect plan or perfect timing is an illusion. Mistakes and setbacks are not signs of defeat. They're signals that you're trying and learning. Action means embracing imperfection as part of the journey. It's through doing that you gain real insight and experience. Not through endless preparation. A powerful way to stay consistent is to create daily rituals tied to your growth goals. These rituals serve as anchors in your day, reminding you to focus on what matters. Whether it's spending time, learning, practicing a skill, or reflecting on progress, rituals keep you grounded and disciplined over time. These routines become part of your identity, making growth a natural and ongoing process. Taking consistent action also means being patient with yourself. Growth is not always visible immediately. Sometimes you won't feel any different, or results may seem slow, but just because change isn't dramatic overnight doesn't mean it's not happening. Trust that your efforts are planting seeds that will eventually sprout patience. Combined with persistence is one of the most powerful forces in achieving long-term success. Tracking your actions helps maintain focus and motivation. When you see a list of what you've done, it reminds you that progress is happening, even if it's gradual. This sense of accomplishment feeds your desire to continue without tracking. It's easy to overlook the small wins and get discouraged. Recording your efforts turns invisible progress into visible proof, making it easier to stay committed. Sometimes you may face obstacles or distractions that threaten your consistency. Life is unpredictable, and challenges will arise. The difference between those who grow and those who don't is how they respond. Instead of quitting or waiting for conditions to improve, they adjust and keep moving forward. Flexibility within a commitment to action means being ready to find new ways. When old ones don't work, rather than giving up, taking action with intention requires asking yourself powerful questions regularly. What did I do today that moved me closer to my goals? What can I do tomorrow that I didn't do today? How can I improve my effort or approach these questions? Keep your focus sharp and your actions purposeful. Reflection paired with action creates a cycle of continuous improvement. Finally, remember that consistent action fuels belief when you act repeatedly. Your mind begins to accept the new reality you're creating. You stop seeing yourself as someone who tries and start seeing yourself as someone who grows. This shift in identity is crucial because who you believe you are shapes the effort you put in actions. Build beliefs, and beliefs build actions. A powerful cycle that changes your life from the inside out. Taking consistent action, focused on personal growth, is not easy. It demands courage, discipline, and patience. But it's the only way to create meaningful, lasting change. Growth doesn't happen by chance or luck. It happens by design. You hold the pen that writes your story, and every action you take is an important word in that story. Keep moving forward, day after day, with purpose and determination. Your better self is waiting on the other side of your efforts.